Hello again. This is part 1 of tutorial number 2 on diagramming sentences. Now, if you have never diagrammed sentences before, please work through these tutorials in order, starting with part 1 of tutorial number 1. It will make it easier for you to learn. And thanks again for watching. The sample sentence for this tutorial is an example of what I call mushmouth. Mushmouth is a genre of corporate and political writing designed to avoid communicating anything of value. The cause is usually a combination of embarrassment and fear. So if your goal is clear communication, don't do it this way. Listen to this. We took the decision to participate in a structured mediation process, having regard to the likely costs involved and the uncertainties and risks that are inevitably associated with claims of this nature. Draw your storyline and separate it into a subject area and predicate area. Predicate area on the right hand of the dividing line, the subject area on the left hand of the dividing line. Then we'll dig into the sentence. First thing to do is to identify and highlight the subject, the actor, in this case, we, and we'll make the subject bold and blue. Next, we'll highlight the verb. What did we do? We took. We'll make took, the verb, bold, and I always highlight verbs in red. Then, in our diagram, we write the subject in the subject area on the storyline, and the verb just to the right of the dividing line. Now I have the subject and the verb. We took. I think we can probably move this over. Next question, what did we take? What might be the object or the predicate noun or pronoun or predicate modifier? We took the decision. Decision is what we took. We'll make decision bold, and I always put objects in green. And we diagram objects by putting a vertical line after the verb, which goes down to, but not through, the storyline. And we put the object, decision, just to the right of that dividing line. Now the storyline is complete, and it is, in fact, a complete sentence. It's a complete thought. We took decision. Next, identify any modifiers of the storyline words. If you remember from tutorial number 1, modifiers answer basic questions of the words they modify. Remember that modifiers can be single words or entire phrases. So, for instance, we might ask ourselves, which decision? And the first thing that springs to mind is, well, the decision. We'll put our modifiers in bold, but I'll want to make them a different color, and I generally make modifiers orange. Next, we might ask, what sort of decision? And we might answer a decision to participate. We'll put to participate in bold and highlight it in orange. To participate is a part of speech called an infinitive. An infinitive is the basic form of all verbs. And in English, we make infinitives by putting to, the word to, in front of the verb stem. But to participate is not used as a verb here. It's used as a modifier. It answers a question about decision. And if you remember how we did it in tutorial number 1, we'll put these modifiers on a slant down below the storyline, like that, on little slanted lines. And there we have it. Next we might ask, to participate how? And the answer would be to participate in a structured mediation process, which we'll make bold. Now you'll probably remember from the first tutorial that this is a prepositional phrase, and what I usually do for prepositional phrases is we'll make the preposition itself in, plural, and then the object of the preposition we'll make green, just like we made the object of the verb. So the actual prepositional phrase here, the preposition and its object, reads like this: in process. A, structured, and mediation are all modifiers of process. So we'll put the modifiers in orange. Now I'm going to need a little extra room at the bottom of this, so I'm going to just do a little bit of housekeeping here. We don't need that really anymore. We can just put this up here like that. Okay. Because you remember that to diagram a prepositional phrase modifying another modifier, that we need to make this little dogleg elbow thing off to the side there, and put the preposition there and its object there, and then we'll need a little vertical line separating the preposition from the object. Like that. And all that's left is to diagram the modifiers the same way we diagram the modifiers on the storyline, by putting them in on slanted lines right below the word they modified. Which process? A process. What sort of process? A structured process. What sort of structured process? A structured mediation process. Now we'll go back up to the storyline, to the object decision, and ask, what sort of decision? And the answer we'll see is a decision having regard to the likely costs involved and the uncertainties and risks. Now, you can probably easily see that that is, in fact, two phrases, and the first one, having regard, is what we call a participial phrase, because having is the present participle of the verb to have. And because they function pretty much just like prepositions, make the participle purple. And in fact, like a preposition, the participle can take an object, and the object in this case is regard. And, not surprisingly, this participial phrase is diagrammed just like a prepositional phrase. We'll make the little dogleg frame, but instead of a preposition, we have a participle there on the slanting line. We still have the object line separating the participle from its object, and we put the object of the participle in exactly the same place as we would put the object of a preposition. YouTube likes us to keep these videos to under 10 minutes, so this is the end of part 1 of tutorial number 2. Click on part 2 of tutorial number 2 for the rest of the diagram. Thanks again for watching.